Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about implementing an effective cash flow management service. And consider this your guide to offering cash flow management services to your accounting clients. This presentation is specifically for CPAs in public practice who have existing clients. And basically what I'm showing you, we're going to talk about more value-added services, but my number one is implementing cash flow management. And the secret to this for the accountants out there, if you're really practical, it's an entry level and it's open to everything, and I'll explain that. The first thing I want you to understand is with your clients, you cannot possibly hope to implement effective cash flow management until you've solved the problem of bookkeeping. If they don't have current up-to-date books and records, you can't help them as much as you'd like to. And also, if they're not current with their year-end, their taxes, their filings, you can't help them as much as you'd like to. So here's a little secret for you. If you say to your clients, I'd love to work with you, I'd love to help you, I can't until your books and records are up to date, until your taxes are filed, I promise you this becomes the carrot. They'll be begging you to help them get their books and records up to date, get their filings done so that they can start working on cash flow. And once you get them into the routine of managing their cash flow, it's magical because they never want to get behind again because they know they can't keep doing what they're supposed to do if they're always behind. So today I'm going to introduce what exactly is cash flow management to me. We're going to talk about sort of the purpose of this presentation. I'm going to define some really important key things, help you understand what your clients actually don't know and how you can help them. We're going to talk about some challenges that your clients are going through that they maybe don't know how to ask for help. We're going to give you the questions, the vocabulary to be able to ask your clients questions so that they can ask for help. And here's the observation. A lot of accountants tell me with 100% certainty, Jeff, you don't understand. My clients don't need cash flow management or they don't ask for it, so why would I offer it? Here's the thing. You need to understand what their questions mean, and you, as the expert, need to say, oh, you need help with this. It's kind of like expecting somebody, a patient, to go into the doctor, and the doctor says, well, they didn't specifically ask me for treatment for this rare, exotic, Latin named disease, so therefore I didn't treat them. No, our job is to diagnose and say, oh, you have this disease, because at the end of the day, all of our clients know are their symptoms. So we're going to get into that, but really the benefits of cash flow management, there's so many, I'm going to explore that, and we're going to talk about how you can introduce it. And by the way, I'm going to get a little detailed because at some point you're probably going to do presentations for your clients and they're going to help you identify that they need help. So first things first, the first step in cash flow management is identifying your top clients. We want to pick your top 10. And the reason I say top 10, we want this to be easy for you to implement. We want you to understand the exact steps you need to take, and we want you to be confident taking it. And so here's the secret. Your biggest, best clients, the ones you love the most, those are the ones you want to start with because usually you have a good relationship with them. Usually they trust you, you trust them. You need to recognize that the only way you're going to get good at working with clients and their cash flow is to work with clients and their cash flow. There's no course you can take. There's no more books to read. You've got the knowledge. You just need to learn how to apply it. So my criteria is really, really simple. You want to figure out who your top clients are. And this might be based on their total revenue. It might be based on your relationship with them, but pick the top 10 clients that mean something to you. And reach out to them, and we want to get really clear on what their needs are. And the best way you can do that is to ask them what's keeping you awake at night in your business, or is there an area of your business you'd like my input on? And here's the thing that's going to hurt your accountant brain. We're trained over and over that we have to have all the answers. I want you to understand that your job here is to have all the questions. You are literally diagnosing their pain. You're helping them understand it. I know accountants are naturally good at this, but we're taught that we have to be better at knowing the answers. So if you ask good questions, you're going to help them understand their business better. They will get better results. They'll appreciate you more. So we could go into some detail. I don't want to overcomplicate this, but for the very first, let's get started implementing, pick your top 10. Now, over time, you're going to look at your clients by revenue, by complexity, by how they make you feel, by what you love about working with them, maybe by industry. Those are all different ways to segment a client base. But for now, you need confidence, you need practice. So you want people who will be patient. And by the way, these top 10 clients, you're going to want to clone them and bring in more like them. So pick them carefully. And this is not a step to rush to get through, but take the time and say, who are my best 10 clients? And what we want to do is for those clients, we can build personalized approaches based on their business. And what I mean by that is their relative size, their team strength. Do they sell products? Do they sell services? Do they sell a blend? But the reality is the first step is understanding exactly what they need help with. And one of the things you can do to draw them in is to complete a case study, identifying who your best clients are, and then doing case studies showing here's what happened when we worked together on cash flow management. And by the way, I do that with my clients. I create a success story, a case study based on the results of my clients that I can share with others. And just to keep you in the loop, when I work with an accounting firm and they start offering cash flow, the average fee per hour goes up, the average client retention goes up, and you spend less time doing more valuable things for your core group of clients. I've actually had in one extreme case, they did an 80-20 analysis. They identified their top 20% of their clients, and they reached out to all of them and said, what else can we do to serve you, to make your life better? And basically they were able to sell off 80% of their clients, get rid of all the headaches, all the frustration, and focus only on the top 20%. It was significant. They doubled their take home. They cut their, full disclosure, they cut their top line revenue by about a factor of a fifth. They dropped to a fifth of where they were, but they were actually netting double with way less stress. So once we've picked our top 10 clients, and keep it 10, don't get too confusing, don't get too fancy. Pick your top 10 clients, and I'm going to share the language of soft launch, and then I'm going to share how to do it. But basically, a soft launch, you're going to reach out to your existing 10 best clients and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What questions do you have for me? So the exact language I would use, I would reach out to my top 10, just call them up and say, hey, so-and-so, I just want to let you know we want to offer better services to our existing clients. We've picked some of our favorite 10, our top 10, whatever you want to call it. And what we're doing is we're just calling each of you, having a conversation and seeing if there's anything else you believe we can or should help you with in your business. Our focus is going to be cash flow management, but we'd also like to bring in other experts to help our clients. Would that be of interest to you? And here's the thing, they'll say yes, no, or maybe. If they say yes, you say great. As we get details, we'll be reaching out and we'll have a conversation. If they say no, well, thank you. Do you know anyone else who would like that sort of information? And if they say maybe, you say, okay, if it's okay with you, I'll reach out when we're ready to go. So the soft launch, we're not wasting hours and hours and hours building it out. We're just calling 10 people. That's your homework. After this, call 10 people and ask them the questions I just asked. And this is not a sales pitch. You don't have to get better at marketing. You don't have to get better at sales. You as an accountant are trained to ask questions. So you're just asking the different questions. Would you be open to learning more when we're ready to launch? So one thing I want to point out is a lot of noise out there. They're telling accounting firms how to grow their practice by adding more clients. The problem is if you don't know how to screen and qualify and get good clients, more is just more. And if you double your practice, think about doubling your existing clients, the good, the bad, and pardon the expression, but the ugly. We want to focus on just cloning the good and the best. So one of the things I want to point out is most accounting firms, they grow by adding more clients. That is an exhausting strategy. It requires you to be better at marketing, better at sales. You have to get better systems and processes. If you want to be effective, the cheapest, fastest way to grow a business is to offer new services to existing clients. And that's the whole heart of cash flow management. We want to help you introduce new services to existing clients so that you can grow your revenue without growing all of your admin and overhead burden. So let's look at the soft launch. We want to create a compelling message. Like I said, we're just going to say, I'm considering this. Would you be open to learning more? And as you have these 10 people, you're going to ask them, is there anything else you'd like to cover? I can't stress this enough. Take great notes when you're on these phone calls. You're only making 10, so make them count. So write down the things that they'd like you to do more of, the things that they don't value, and things that they might have questions about. So again, a successful soft launch is getting feedback from your 10. And here's the thing, if you call 10 people and you get feedback from 10 people, that is the success we want. Now, if you call 10 people and they say not interested, that tells us we're asking the wrong questions. So when you're doing the soft launch, you're looking at it, your strategy is to kind of track and summarize, what questions do they have? Who else do they know that could benefit? Are they open to learning more? And basically you want to track that. And, in any world, you're the professional. These are your top clients. I would say that at least 60 to 80% should say, yes, tell me more. If you get 100% no, we need to rethink the offer. But the reality is, in most cases, you should get at least 60% saying, tell me more. So that's the soft launch. And then I'll explain what an actual launch looks like. But before we invest any time, energy, attention, money into creating a cash flow management service, we need this as the proof that they're interested. And by the way, success is a loaded term because that implies that there's a way to fail at this. There is no failure, because at the worst, you've talked to 10 of your best clients in a week. And by the way, I do recommend, personally, I would block a day and do this, but get it done quickly because it'll give you the confidence to know you can proceed, or it'll say, okay, maybe we're not ready to introduce new services yet. And by the way, be open. They may offer you feedback on your existing services. Just say, we're going to work on that as well. But for now, we're talking about the cash flow management.